Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and helping us feed a hungry hippo. Also, don't forget to like this video, it really helps the channel out. And if you're not a member of our Facebook group, it is called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Join us over there for some great conversation with amazing resellers in a very positive atmosphere. It is a Tuesday. It's not a Monday. It's November 15th, but we're still going to do a what sold on eBay. I didn't get around to this yesterday. We're a day late, but we're not $1 short. So most of you know, Keith and I recently relocated ourselves and our business from Florida back up to Pittsburgh. In the month of October, I did a lot of traveling, and we did do a lot of theme parks like the Harry Potter World and Star Wars Galaxy at Disney, as we were trying to cross off as many things off our bucket list in Florida before we left. Between all of those mini vacations and my traveling and packing up for the move, we really weren't listing during the month of October. And we had our store on hold for several weeks towards the end, and then when we got here and we were waiting for the truck. So our store was at a complete standstill, all of our platforms really, but today we're looking at eBay. As you guys know, an active store is a happy store. If you're not listing consistently and having daily activity, your sales will suffer. And then on top of that, having a store on hold for weeks on end will really affect you. So we turned our store on last Tuesday, which was the 8th of November, and it had been on hold since the 17th of October. So it was on hold for almost a month. It was on hold for a month. So what we're going to look at is everything that we've sold since we've had it back on, just to give you an idea of how much sold in 1 week's time after coming back. So it was on hold for a month. There was little activity leading up to that month on hold. We took it off hold. We really grinded it out last week. We were listing and ending and selling similar and just doing double, triple even the work that we normally would do to try to wake everything up and get things to start moving again. So we're going to look at everything that sold from November 8th through November 13th. Anything that sold yesterday will be on next week's What Sold on eBay video. We're just going to look at basically the first week after the store woke up. Normally, I only choose highlights and things I want you guys to look out for when you're sourcing to help you guys out. But we're looking at every single sale from November 8th through November 13th because I want you guys to see everything that sold. It's 24 items, which averages out to about 4 to 5 a day, which is not great. Historically, our sell-through rate hovers around 0.5%, which with 2,500 listings, we should be selling 10 to 12 items a day. However, most of this year, we were at half of where we should be when we were in Florida. A lot of that stems from not having as much to list due to the struggle of sourcing out there. We are moving back into what's familiar to us here, the volume-based business. We have we have access to a lot of inventory here at really low cost of goods. So just to get everything built back up, we will be focusing on a volume-based business. Our aim is to get to 5,000 listings by February. And then once we have 5,000 listings in the store, we may refocus again and go into focusing on things with a higher average sale price, getting back into the remotes and buying pallets and stuff like that. But for the very near future, to build our business back up to where it was pre-Florida and get things moving and grinding them out, we're going to focus on our volume-based business. Some people don't like volume-based. We do. This is how we started. This is what we know. This is how we built up in the beginning. When we first started reselling, we did a ton of volume, mostly bread and butter items. And that was how I built it up large enough for Keith to quit his job and join me full time. And that was how we kept it built up to support both of us. It's not for everyone, but we like it. And again, once we get to 5,000 listings and we're doing that kind of volume, we're going to have to reassess and see if this is something we want to continue. We may have to hire employees. We may focus more on higher average sale price items. We're also going to have to wait and see what the economy does and what the world is doing as far as shopping. Personally, this is just my opinion and my feelings. I'm not like an economic specialist or anything like that. But I feel like as folks are going to be going into this recession and having less and less discretionary income to spend and not having that ability to just shop willy-nilly, folks are going to be looking for bargains. They're going to be looking for those bread and butter brands. They're going to be looking for those lower prices. They're going to be coming online looking for bargains because they don't have a lot of money to spend. So I feel like filling our store up with bread and butter items, we're getting them at cost of goods for 99 cents. We can pass that savings on to the buyers and sell items that have a price of $12 to say $25. That's what they're going to be looking for when they don't have a lot of money to spend. I also kind of feel like clothing is recession proof. As folks have less money to spend and can't afford things, they're going to be looking for secondhand clothing. Everyone knows that's more affordable, and everyone needs clothing. Last time I checked, it is still illegal to go outside naked, and everyone has to have clothes. Everyone needs clothes. That's what people are going to be shopping for, even when they can't afford their luxury items. So, that said, let's take a look at the items that sold in the last week since we've turned our store back on. I'm actually pretty pleased. It is only 24 items, but within a week of waking everything back up, I feel like that's really good. It's like it sprung back to life very quickly and will continue to hopefully grow. Okay, so we're going to start with the plush, which is what I always do because they're my favorite. Y'all are looking at a Happy Meal toy. This is a McDonald's Neopets Yellow Jub Jub. He's a 3-inch guy. He's a 3-inch little plush. He came out of a wholesale lot, so he was probably $1 or less. And you guys know how I feel about wholesale. I list everything in there. The good stuff pays for it, and everything else is just extra money. Icing on that cake. I accepted a best offer of $11 on this guy, and he shipped first class. Next up, we have a Disney Minnie Mouse. This is a 10-inch Minnie Mouse. She also came out of a wholesale lot and was probably about $1. She sold for $13.99 and shipped first class. Honestly, I was surprised that she even went for $13.99. Most of these little Minnie Mouses that are by Just Play, you see there on the tag, go for, $10 to $12. When it comes to Mickey and Minnie Mouse and Goofy and Winnie the Pooh, those really oversaturated characters, they typically comp very low. And you want to look for Disney Store or the theme parks, Walt Disney World. These Just Play, the Hasbro, the Mattel, they just don't do as well. But because she came in a wholesale lot, I went ahead and listed her. I don't know that I would pick her up as a one-off, outsourcing in the wild. Next up, we have a Wild Republic Red Panda. I love Wild Republic. It's a really great brand. They have a lot of realistic looking animals, and they sometimes have, like, from the zoos, you'll see like Ohio Cincinnati Zoo or Pittsburgh Zoo. They usually do pretty well depending on the animal and like its popularity and depending on the size. This is a 12-inch red panda, and he sold for $13.12. He shipped first class. Next up, we have Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Leonardo. He is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He's 23 inches, so he's about 2 feet long, just shy of 2 feet. And I did buy him for $1. He's official Nickelodeon. And I did accept a best offer of $15.74 on him. He barely made first class. He went into a large poly bag and he was like right at 15.9. If he had have been over a pound, I would have had calculated shipping on him and probably sold him for more like $12. Next up, we have an Aurora Yoo-Hoo and Friends. This little lady's been around for a long time. I actually remember her and getting her for 50 cents way back, pre-2020 when we used to get the plush for 50 cents at the Goodwill here. She sold for $10.49 and shipped first class. Hallmark Leonardo 13-inch talking plush. This guy is really old as well. You guys keep in mind that plush is very long tail. The sell-through rate on them is very slow. They are probably, other than like antiques, probably the slowest selling category on eBay, in my opinion. They are very long tail. There's some that'll move really fast. There's some that sell quickly, like the Loveys for kids, more popular ones, really rare ones. But really, when you're selling plush, you're either waiting, if you have a collector's kind of plush, you're waiting for, an adult to come along that's willing to spend that kind of money on a toy. Or you're just waiting for someone to find the toy they need for their kid. That a lot of times they're replacing things their children lost. But plush are very, very long tail. They're slow, and that's okay. It's just a different world, though. I hear a lot of people all the time, oh, my plush isn't moving. It's been listed for 6 months. Well, on average, most bread and butter brand clothing takes 3 to 6 months to sell. For plush, sitting around for 6 months, that's like the equivalent of 1 to 3 months in clothing, if that makes sense. It's just a different world. You want to make sure you have plenty of room to store it if you're going to get into plush. So Leonardo here's been around for a lot of years. I remember getting him from a yard sale. I really thought he would have moved a lot quicker than he did. He's really cute. He sings and talks in like this French accent. I put Valentine's Day in his title to help out. He just took a while. He was waiting for the right person that needed a French talking leopard in their life, right? So he did sell for $17.99, and they did pay shipping. So he did weigh over a pound. He shipped in a box, and they paid for the calculated shipping on him. All right, so that was 6 plush since we've woke up the store. Prior to moving here, I remember we were only selling 1 or 2 a week. So I'm confident that means sales are getting better. But we shall see with the economy and the way the world is going. It's also Q4, so that possibly helped when we turned the store back on and had the influx of sales and the immediate uptick. Because in the past, it kind of sometimes took a little bit longer when we would come back from being on hold or on vacation. It could be Q4 that's helping out. It could be the fact that we're really putting our nose to the grind and just listing. But we're going to get into the clothes now. So these are Adriana Goldschmied. These are the graduate tailored leg jeans. Let me show you the tag so you can see that it says that. Whenever jeans have the name or the style on the waistband or the tags, always use that in your keywords, always. Because if a buyer is looking for that particular style or that particular name in that brand, that's what they're searching for. You want it in your title and you want it kind of up front because it's important. Titles should always go most important to least important. These sold for $39.99, and they did ship in a flat rate envelope. Next up, a Stormtroopers t-shirt. This is just a bread and butter shirt we picked up for $1, sold for $11.99. And actually, I accepted a best offer of $9. I had to check my notes. So we listed it for $12. We accepted a best offer of $9, and it shipped first class. This was kind of a funny one for Stormtrooper fans. Next up, we have a BKE Pearl Snap Western shirt. Y'all know Keith and I love our Pearl Snaps. Any brand, we pick them up if the cost of goods is right. BKE is one of the better ones. It has a higher sell-through rate, and it sells for a little bit more than some other brands. Less than some, too. You kind of have to do your research and figure out which ones are best. But when it comes to pearl snaps, if it's a pearl snap and the cost is $2 or less, we buy it. This one sold for $24.99 and shipped first class. Why am I want a better butt? Y'all heard me talk about the wanna better butts all the time. I love wanna better butts. They typically sell between $18 to $25, depending on their size. And they almost always ship first class. Most of them are junior sizes, so they're smaller, and they'll ship first class and be a little cheaper. And, the cost of goods on them can range from $5 to $10, depending on the thrift store you're in. I don't recommend paying that much. I won't pick them up unless they're like $2 or less. So I get them when they're half off or on sale, just because the most they sell for is $25 and low end is $18. I don't want my cost of goods over $2, but they do sell pretty fast. Most of them sell within a week. So it's a quick return on your investment. I did accept the best offer on this pair of $20. Bit and Bridle women's button front shirt. So Bit and Bridle is a really good brand if you find the Western shirts and the pearl snaps. But I also like just the regular button fronts like this one. It's also a plus size, which helps. So it sold for $24.99, and it was a plus size. But keep your guys' eyes peeled for this. I got this one for 99 cents. I would have paid probably up to $1 or $2 for it. Up to $1, that's a whole penny more. Up to $2. All right, next up, Lee Riders. So this isn't anything I typically would pick up on my own, like if I saw it on the rack. Maybe for 99 cents, but not for, $5 and $6 and $10, which is what the starting price of most jeans are in thrifts these days for most of us. But she did buy 2 pairs. So this Jockey Jeans is another brand I don't source. So the Jockey Jeans came from a ThredUp box, I'm pretty sure. And I may have picked these up for 99 cents or come in a ThredUp box. They're size 14, which is a pretty decent size. It's considered plus size on Poshmark. One buyer bought both and paid $44.98 for the 2 pairs. And I did manage to get them together in a padded flat. There was no way I was getting them in that cardboard flat rate envelope. But I did lay them out together. Like I stacked them on top of each other and folded them in half on top of each other, and then folded the legs in and the top end together. It was a little bit of a struggle, but I got them in there. So that was nice. We sold this Nike men's shirt for $10 on a best offer. This is just something that was in a wholesale lot of men's t-shirts. Everything in that lot averaged out to $1 a piece. So we just listed everything that was in there. That was one that had jerseys that sold very quickly from $40 to $80. So, we already made our money on the box. So we might as well list everything. And since we were trying to wake the store up last week, there were certain items that we were taking lower offers on than we normally would, like the Neopet you saw at the beginning. I don't know that I normally would have sold that for $11, but we're also trying to wake up the store and get things moving. So sometimes it's about, the loss leaders to get that activity in your store. This is a Ralph Lauren purple label. I found 2 of these back in Florida. You guys that follow us on Instagram, we're Flippin' Hippos over there, may remember the reel I put up on Instagram about this. So I was very excited to find 2 purple labels. We've only ever found 3 since we've been reselling, and 2 of them were in one day in Florida. We took a best offer of $40 on this, and of course it shipped first class. Here's another shirt that came in a wholesale lot. So this was just a bunch of t-shirts we got. I probably would not source this, not even for 99 cents. But it wasn't a lot that we bought, and we were listing everything from it. And so this sold for $12.24, shipped first class. This was also in that same lot. We had some boys' shirts mixed in there. This is a Cowboys hooded t-shirt for kids. And I took a best offer on that at $10 just to get it moving. A Bowden top. So I did source this. I picked it out. Bowden is a good brand. I love Bowden jeans. They comp a little higher than their shirts do, but the shirts are nice too. This is a big pockets, big colored, like really nice shirt. And it sold on a best offer of $20. But keep your eyes peeled for Bowden, especially for the jeans. It's like an English brand from the UK. All right, next up we have some Joe's jeans. Everybody's familiar with those, I hope. If you're selling jeans, be familiar with Joe's jeans. These are the Icon mid-rise skinny ankle, and you can see all my keywords right there on the tag. And I sold these for $33 on a best offer. I wanted to list these for $35. We list all of our items on eBay at 25% higher than what we want. And then we run a 20% off sale around the clock. Except for weekends, we do 30%. So if we wanted $34.99 for these jeans, we would list them at $43.74. The 20% off sale would bring it to $34.99. And we run our sales Monday through Wednesday. They start again Wednesday through Friday, they end, and then we do the 30% off on the weekend. Why we do it that way is to create a sense of urgency. If you have a sale on that runs for a week or two at a time, buyers are going to see that sale is going to be on for a while. And they may think, I'll come back and buy it later. When you have sales that are ending within a day or two and just constantly ending and restarting, you're creating that sense of urgency because they see that the sale is going to end soon and they may act faster on purchasing it. So this actually sold in between sales. So we allow like a half an hour in between, and this was not on sale. The buyer sent me an offer of $33. I knew that this was going to go on sale for $35. I'm like, you know what? It's $2 less. I'll take it. So that is the thought process behind the offer on this one. But keep your eyes out for Joe's jeans as well. I love Joe's jeans. Okay, now we're going to look at some remotes. So that was the clothing and the plush that had sold. And then we had 5 remotes sell over the weekend. And you're going to see our range of remotes from very low end to pretty good and decent here. We buy remotes from some sources that we have, and we pay about 20 to 25 cents a pound. It's pennies per remote. So when we get them and clean them and test them, if they work, we sell them. We sell them for $7. We sell them for $20. We sell them for $80, depending on what the remote is. But we don't shy away from these lower end ones because we're literally paying pennies for our remotes. We get them so cheap. And the few that come in every pallet that are the really expensive ones pay for them. And then everything else is just icing. And listen, remotes are so super easy to clean, test, and list. And they take up hardly any room. They're easy to ship. They're cheap to ship. So we list them all. If you're buying remotes, at flea markets, garage sales, church sales, even finding them at the thrift stores, and you're buying them one by one and you're paying 50 cents to $1, I don't recommend picking up any that aren't going to sell for at least 15 or more because you're paying per piece and it's a little more expensive cost of goods. But when you get them in bulk and you're paying pennies, this is fine. So let me look at my notes. This is the Sony we sold for $7. So apparently they didn't want to sell, or they didn't want to pay the 99 cents. So we let it go on a best offer of only $7. They all ship first class. We get the padded bubble mailers from eBay. We do get the eBay branded ones. Yes, they're expensive, but we don't pay for them. So the quarterly coupon that everyone gets with their store subscription, that's what we use ours for. We get the padded air mailers for our remotes. This is a genuine dish control. Nope, remote control. Genuine dish remote control. And no, I'm not editing this video. You guys know I just leave my bloopers in there. This sold for $16.99. Normally dish remotes are bad. They just don't comp high. They don't do well. But there's some that do. So it's worth, if you're going to get into remotes, learning which ones are poop and which ones are worth listing. $16.99 on something you paid pennies for all day long. This is a Sony DVD that sold for $8.74. An LG for $8.74. And a Westinghouse for $10.49. So those were our sales since last Tuesday. I'm pretty pleased that we had that many that quickly, coming off of a very long period of little to no activity and them being on hold for a month. We're going to continue to grind it out. We're going to continue with our plan of just buying in volume and pumping out the listings. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated with what sold videos and haul videos. I'll be doing a haul video tomorrow of all of our 99-cent finds. Yes, Sunday. And if you're not following us on Instagram, we're Flippin' Hippos. I do put a lot of reels up there of my time in the thrift stores and what we're finding, and when we have days where we don't find anything, or just keeping you updated on what's going on. Let me know how your sales are doing down in the comments. Do you like volume-based selling or not? Let me hear from you guys. Go be productive. Go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.